And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Farthest Frontier. This is... I don't know why, but... Invading army demands payment. So I can just pay them off, it's in the way. I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna fight these guys. So we're gonna hit attack. So that's an army. That's an army. We'll see how well this goes. 85 raiders is attacking. Ring the bell. Deploy the troops. So they're going to probably come through the gates up here. One of those gates. Okay, so combat area there. Then you're going to get a combat area right behind them. And we see how that goes. Oh, that's a catapult. Okay, well that seems to, for the moment, have gone reasonably well. We're going to move that flag to there. We're going to move this flag to there. So, first batch seen off. Now we just need to reposition for the second batch. Catapult has been brought down. Battering ram has been brought down, so the enemy siege weapons have been brought low. In the middle of this, a merchant decides to distract me. Already weren't going to interact with the number one. Number two will bite soap. So yes, we will transport some soap to the marketplace for them to buy. Then they'll buy some of the pots, so we'll do the same with pots. And we can buy iron and tools off of them, which I may do just to help deal with our iron issues a little bit. Eye of the Hunter is a little bit tempting, but I think you only run 3 of the artifacts, so... There we go. So that is victory. Village was raided, 85 raiders, 62 of which were killed, the cost of 4 villagers, 1 structure destroyed. So they managed to breach one of the gates, and that was about it. Although it says they only destroyed 1 building. We apparently lost some of the decorative... Well, I say decorative. They're not exactly decorative. They keep the animals out. Instead of paying 1,200 gold, not bad. Yeah, not bad. How many troops did we lose? We lost none of the light infantry and none of the archers. So that was pretty good. Some negligible damage. We lost the compost yard. I think the most annoying thing to have lost is the compost yard. Everything else is just a little bit of wood that will very rapidly be replaced. Although it does look like someone was injured in a way where they have to get hauled to see medical care. Although that maybe looks like a regular civilian got caught up in the fighting. But they were successfully delivered safely. Were successfully delivered safely to the hospital, so. Twitch chat saying they say they find the raiding mechanics silly like in Civ. It would be similar to barbarians, however there are at least other civilizations there, so barbarians and Civ prepare you for other nations, just adds random disaster events. Yeah. This game, as Twitch chat saying, the raiders in here are sort of adding disaster events. If it didn't play into the tightness on the money, the raiders here would not super fit very well. And I think part of the story is that one of the reasons you're out here is that wherever you came from was having a raider problem. So the raiders followed you here is basically what comes from. But, yeah, it's sort of like random bandits show up to attack the camp. It's like, okay, it's a story mechanic, it's a game mechanic, it's maybe not very realistic, but, or at least the level of warning you get isn't very realistic in this game. Like, if there's a marauding band of thieves, you'd expect you to get more than a couple weeks' notice that they're inbound.
Hi.
Interesting, that's where you're going to pick up soap for the merchant. We might not actually get the soap delivered in time before this guy leaves, because the soap's all distributed around the world, apparently. Yeah, I think he's going to leave without us selling him any soap. It's a bit of a shame. Can we go buy tools off of him, or... Yeah, we buy the tools. The tools are cheap right now. Guess we'll save iron for other stuff. Soap isn't going to get there in time at this point. Yeah, I might want to start up another clay maker. Clay mine. Because that one's going to run dry pretty quickly. And I need more clay to work more brick. So most of the resources, most of these gatherable resources can't be moved, but supposedly the blueberries are movable. So you can make a giant patch of blueberries if you can find enough blueberries. Yeah, the blueberries, for example, supposedly can be moved. Although, maybe not when they're not harvestable. Yeah, that's the relocating button. Yeah, so blueberries can be moved. A lot of the other stuff, a lot of the other harvestables can't. You can make big batches of blueberries. And at some point when I have enough bricks, we are going to want to upgrade this forager shack so we can, well, upgrade a lot of the forager shacks, because they changed the forager shacks, and now the forager shacks can both gather from the world and gather from their little personal garden when they're upgraded. Although, you usually have to remember to put the shack in the circle, so if you're doing a situation where the shack is not in the circle, then you don't want to do that. But that's another 1.0 thing. Surprised these trees are taking as long as they are to grow. I guess the tree maturity thing from the tech tree definitely is something you need. Because those birch trees are taking forever. Not that we're desperate for wood. We got 2,000 wood apparently from the last time I deforested an area. This whole area down here was forested, and I just had the whole thing leveled. So we got plenty of wood for the moment. Crops lost to disease, some peas, and that has also reminded me to move our fields, because that was winter, so it is time to move the harvest. We'll see if we can get the herd moved fast enough. Yeah, looks like we got the herd moved fast enough, so at least the animals won't be eating our crop. New merchant has arrived in the middle of apparently a thunderstorm. Is selling not 1 but 3 tomes of knowledge. So if I've got the money to throw at that, I can get a lot of knowledge real quick. Don't necessarily have the money to throw at that problem, but we could get knowledge. We'll get some stuff sold. We probably will actually go ahead and try to transfer some money to buy some of those knowledge points. They're also expensive. These are expensive ones. At least 53 is recommended. You're saying too few is doing things, but I mean, you don't give me a recommendation what you think is the appropriate number, and yet you're only using 3 and you're told you're allowed up to 24. So I think it's not being particularly accurate there. Stone, got the thing, got the... Oh, so that's a question, is do I want to spend the money on upgrading the temple? or the points of knowledge. I think the temple is actually going to trump. I think we'll do the temple. So in which case, I won't have the money to buy any of that knowledge, which is fair. Should probably start working towards getting the House of Healing upgrade. So I need to invest 2 points of knowledge in the tech tree for that. One for the thing between us and hospitalization, and one for the hospital upgrade. The new merchant has arrived. Merchant number 2, what do you want? You'll buy some of our baskets, so we'll ship you some baskets. And you basically don't buy anything from us, which is fine. Oop, more things want to upgrade. Presumably due to food variety. Right, because they need furniture and glassware and food variety. Go ahead and prioritize getting the cheesemaker done. So if we get any more bricks in, they should at least get delivered to the right spot. And the temple location. So we should have enough planks to finish the temple because you needed it to queue the upgrade. Which furniture do we have in stockpile? Zero, apparently. Presumably because we're generating furniture and then it's going out to people, because people want the furniture. Of course, that adds to luxury. It's one of the luxury items, so in theory we're getting paid for it. Maybe not paid very well for it, but we're getting paid for it by supplying it to people. Third merchant of the year has arrived. You will buy the herbs we already have stocked, so we will just sell those to you, just straight up have those. We buy the crossbows, that way we wouldn't have to generate the iron for them. Okay. So, for the moment, let's shift a bunch of honey and a bunch of the herbs. Because as long as those arrive before you leave, we can sell some of that to you and buy something else back, and then sell some more stuff to you, sort of thing. Here's our point of knowledge. I'm going to work up towards the improvement to healing. So recovery rate for restoring wounds. We don't really need the recovery rate for restoring wounds, but I want the healer's house upgraded to hospital. Yeah, so we want to pick that up next. And then after that, we'll probably be canning. Because we might by then actually have some of the houses at level 4. And we'll be looking for level 5 luxury needs for them. Yeah, I've got a cost for limited 25, so there's maybe an argument to getting the crossbows deployed. The bots, they're not getting crafted, for example. Most of what this guy should be making is arrows. Every once in a while, if we've got the iron, he will try to make crossbows. Which isn't a bad thing, we do need the crossbows. Okay, so we've got a person here who will buy the soap. We've already got loaded at the place. So sell you the soap. And then what do you sell? You sell bricks. So we're basically selling bricks of soap for bricks of bricks. Bricks of clay. Buy and transfer, please. Infinite gold, infinite coal out to the south. At some point we'll probably make use of the infinite iron up there, although we probably want to use the easy accessible surface iron there first. Oh, there's an infinite source of clay. So yeah, at some point we probably want to do the deep mine because that's going to be an easy source of clay. Probably once these 2 mines run out. There's more coal over there. There's the iron up there. Okay. So as far as mining, I think we're good. Maybe the only one that might be a bit of a pain is sand. Although we've only started using sand, so I'm not expecting the 7,000 sand in this mine to run out anytime soon. Double the amount of cheese makers. I don't necessarily know how much cheese we have sitting around at any given, or milk at any time, but let's try to get that processed into milk, or get the milk processed into cheese, so it hangs around longer. Do I actually have stockpiles? I do at this point, so we should turn up the paper maker. Like 6 paper. And we now have the fancy tier 4 houses in. So this is what the tier 4 house looks like. For comparison, that's what the tier 3 one looks like. And to get up to tier 5, we need to provide luxury food, spice, and books. And 4 varieties of food, but we're providing 3, so I think the luxury still count as a type of food, so we just need to get to luxury foods, which I think is pastries. Need to get the bakery upgraded to do pastries, which is more glassware. So we need to be making glassware fast enough that we actually stockpile some glassware. Some buildings that caught fire where apparently they didn't catch fire for very long and they've already been put out. Oh, and here is the new improved Grand Temple of Worship. This allows us to actually run another blessing if we want. Shard of the Blade. Okay. We'll go ahead and slide another blessing in. So shoes last longer, all our villagers have more hit points, and the soldiers and guards do more damage. And spirituality is boosted by the presence of gods. So we need the upgrade, the planks, and the bricks, obviously there. And there's more bricks. There's no upgrade required here, so it's just the money bricks and planks. Entertainment value here would actually be capped out at 125. On the other hand, we're not going to be building any more houses because we can fit the default 500 in all these houses, so entertainment will be what it is. Nor are we getting any complaints about there being shortage of entertainment. We're getting more complaints about food quality and beer. Most notably, probably the lack of beer. What are you actually like? There's no complaint about there not being anything to hunt, but what are you hunting? Move you down here because we've got a huntable area down there. Huntable area there. That makes sense. I think that one's maybe despawned from overhunting. It may respawn if we leave it alone long enough. And then we're hunting more. Got no hunting over there. That might be where I want to move this one. We're hunting over there, which makes sense. And hunting there, which makes sense. I don't know which hunter's doing that one. Whichever one does it is doing the same thing. Okay. So it is winter, so it is time to move the harvesting locations. Now what do I need to build? Well, not the library, but the library we probably would build. The crypt. Okay, 100 stone, we got that. 500 money, we got that. So in the empty space in our graveyard, we're going to slap in a crypt to make sure the graveyard at no point in the near future runs out of space. income. Larger happiness comes from desirability. Just attacking, which aren't too much of a problem usually. That's probably us picking fights in boar. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're finally starting to catch up on the bricks. And our crypt is done. So the crypt itself holds 2,000 space. So more than the rest of the graveyard combined. We need tech point for you and 45 bricks. It's 188 there, although it doesn't require tech points. That'll probably be, assuming we get the bricks coming in, maybe easier to do. Of course, some of these upgrades that I'm doing, like that cost more upkeep. That's gonna cost more upkeep. That's gonna cost more upkeep. And maybe aren't translating into more revenue. New merchant has arrived. Doesn't really have anything I want to buy from him. Birth rate and health of villagers. Interesting, but maybe not what we want at this point. Seeing as we're at the pop cap for the default settings. This would be a good price to buy tools at. Because what? It's 11 to buy iron, 41 to buy the tools. And it's 4 iron in the tool, so yeah. It's cheaper to buy the tools straight than to smith the iron into tools. So maybe we'll try to get some of the soap and the candles shifted. So we've got something to buy tools with, price-wise. Don't think our village is going to consume much more firewood than it is right now. So I'm going to set a limit so we don't continue having the firewood limit go off into infinity. So if you hit 1,500 firewood, please stop. Because I haven't seen an opportunity to sell firewood yet. You're 11, you're 10. Okay, so we're going to sell to the person who gives us a better price. You get the candles today, sir. And we don't yet have a surplus of furniture. We are producing it pretty quickly, so that might change in the future. Luxury goods last 20% longer. Tempting, but we're not that rich right now. And we're waiting for the soap to be delivered. I feel, and that might not be the case, but I feel like to some degree, the building's upgrading provides more desirability or something. It's probably not the case. It's probably where we've got one little area in here where we are over 80. So it's just, do they get the mix of stuff, right? The thing that's really holding them back. In the case of that one's only being held back by the fact it needs 2 different types of food. It's still the base tier 1 shelter and has enough, you know, has enough desirability. It could be tier 4 if it got the food variety. And that's where stockpiling food, I suppose, comes in. So they have the time to remember to get it all. So there's only one type of luxury food, which is the pastries, yeah. Or, we've only ever held one type of luxury food, which is the pastries. So there's protein, grain, veg, fruit, dairy, and luxury. We need bricks and glass to sell luxury, or to make luxury. Sell those items. Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough to buy those. The Tome of Knowledge or the Interesting Artifact. Well, unless we... well, even if I brought in the milk, or even if I brought in the cheese is not gonna be enough. Okay, so just transfer this to the stockpile. We are saving up for stuff, so I don't want to move the stockpiled stuff. Move stuff from the stockpile. Or move money from the stockpile. Let's see if I can cognitize my thoughts. Okay, so we're going to send 21 coats to you. And 52 shoes. 52 pairs of shoes. This is in theory a good price for buying bricks, so we might buy some of those bricks. Might change those into bricks, effectively. We sell these off. And I'm going to buy the bricks. 123 bricks. Okay. And yeah, at that point, that now means I have enough bricks. I don't have the planks right now, which is... Well, we didn't have the planks for a moment. We now have the planks now. So if we get that point of knowledge in 3 months, assuming things don't change, we will be able to build the healer's house here up to a proper hospital, which will improve the desirability on the area, which in theory may allow more houses to upgrade. Assuming they get their food variety, I think. It's really what's holding most of these houses back. Yeah, those granaries are empty. I should probably get some more grain farms going. Okay, so it's gotta be in here. Fair enough. There we go. I know there is a hunting place here. It just must have hunted them out of existence for a little bit. Here's a bandit camp there. I should probably deal with that bandit raider camp at some point. I'll go ahead and send another hunter up over here. Because I'm thinking about it, let's finish off the stream with some clearing of bandit camps. So we know where 3 bandit camps are. Let's get rid of all 3 of these bandit camps before we end the stream today. I did get the stream started early, so well, I'll say early. The goal is actually to stream from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. my time. I say as it's earlier finished than normal for me, ending around 1 p.m. Usually because I start and stuff ends up happening and I end up starting late. Yeah, so the stream here is ending earlier than it sometimes does, but that's because I actually got started early, which is good. Well, started closer to my desired start time. Okay, so we got the knowledge point. We want that to be the hospitalization tech, so we can build the hospital.
It will be done. At once.
Here we go. So we can go salvage that, get some more loot. Over to the next one. We lost an archer. Shame. Yeah, so this is going to be the last part in the stream for the night. We're going to run this part a little bit long. And then if we do pick this up, well, we will pick this up again in the next, in another stream 4 days from now. But in that stream, we'll probably run the parts a bit longer. We'll probably run 4 hour-long parts instead of 5 40-minute parts. Because I think we're getting close to where we're going to finish up. We're not quite there yet. And I don't necessarily want to get any further
Right away.
ahead on YouTube. Because we're recording on a 4-day cycle, so
As you command.
5 parts actually gives me an extra day than I need. So there's another salvage site. Cleared up those bandits. We know we got a batch down here. And at some point we may want to do more exploring, just so we can see if there's any last bandits we're missing after that. But oh, and something I did generated a knowledge point. I don't think that was from normal knowledge generation. I think we maybe like salvage a knowledge point or something. Yeah, we're probably going to need canning. I'm going to hold off in canning. Oh, I should pick up the deep mines. I forgot about it. Pick up the deep mines so we can do deep mining. We're going to hold off in canning until we have the bakery upgraded. Because the bakery needs glassware. So I already need surplus glassware. The canning is going to make it actually harder to do that, because we're going to have another consumer of glass. In the meantime, I suppose I should check What's the sand stockpile looking like? Or isn't it? Okay, so we're not mining sand faster than we're using it. There we go. So that's probably where the knowledge point came from. Is we got it from loot. Nope, nope. We just got another knowledge point. So that one definitely came from loot. So we got the deep mine. For the beacon of culture wonder, we just need the pharmacy. Economic power needs intensive armor farming. Okay, so we. Okay, so 3 checks up there to get to the pharmacy. I was thinking we probably do want to end the run at some point with one of the wonders, one of the monuments. Whether it's going to be eco power or beacon of culture. So it's 4 knowledge points to beacon of culture. For economic power, we need intensive armor farm, intensive animal farming, which is that one. Selective breeding, which is that one, and guilds. There's actually a lot of knowledge points we need to do to get into that one. Oh, and I need the bookbinder, so let's pick up the bookbinder. We need that for our lecture needs to get up to tier 5 housing. Oh, this one's pretty heavily fortified.
As you command. At once.
At once. Right away.
Oh, I maybe don't have the firepower to take this one down. I maybe should have taken the towers instead of focusing the base. Okay, so in theory, if we had won the field of battle, do I just have some stragglers coming in that just never joined in?
It will be done.
Yeah, had we won the field of battle, we would have been able to recover 3 of our wounded. Okay. So we're going to replace and reattempt that. We should have the equipment on board, although we might not have all the halbergs. Halbergs are pretty expensive, and so we weren't carrying a lot. But we should be able to get these guys mostly re-equipped, especially the archers. The archers will re-equip pretty quickly. Oh, we got new crop fields. That makes sense. The plan with these was to grow some sort of grain. Either wheat, rye, or... Is it buckwheat? Buckwheat, yeah. So buckwheat has a pretty low impact fertility rating. It has heat tolerance. Okay, so we can do something like that. Oh, that doesn't quite fit. We can do that. Oops. And then you're going to be the wheat. Yeah. That's going to sort of be the cycle down there. So that's you dealt with. That reminds me, I haven't removed... our grazing areas. At some point, I'm just going to be sufficiently fed up with this, and then we're going to just move it off, like, somewhere over here, and it'll still be fine for the animals. Because, yeah, at this point, we've maximized fertilizing the fields, so we don't really need to keep that on the fields. Oh, do we have an ammunition shortage? That's, a new problem. Go make more archery stuff, please. Okay, so the melee is equipped, although maybe not equipped with the modern armor. One of them is still running around in hide armor like he's an archer. Okay, so this is maybe not ideal, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to send the guys that have... Most of them don't have archers, so most of them don't have arrows. So we're going to send the guys that don't have arrows, and we're going to fire them. In theory, I've got swords. In theory, I've got shields. I am probably short on armor. We're going to rally them actually as light infantry instead, then. That gave us another point of knowledge. Not sure about guild halls. Probably don't need that right now. Going to work up to Forester Camp for regrowth. Probably should do the yield stuff so we get more off the farms. So we need that for eco. We need this for eco. So yeah, let's start working our way up there. So these guys will equip up, and we'll go out and deal with the base. The base hasn't, as long as we don't give it a lot more time, the base isn't going to have fully recovered, so we can come in, burn it down, burn the towers down before it recovers. Crops ready for assignment somewhere. So really, this should be you, buckwheat, harvest wheat. Oh no, I can fit clover there. Okay. And then clover work over. And then the next one is going to be shifted one more year, which in theory means it's going to be a really bad wheat year for that one, but that's fine. clover, wheat. Buckwheat. There we go. Now, we haven't done enough to weed these fields or reduce the rockiness, so they're not necessarily going to be super useful for a while. But that should provide us with a bunch more wheat. The troops are now equipped. So, select all the military units and
At
get
once.
them marching. We're mostly melee here. 22 infantry and 2 archers. All the melee guys at least got shields and at least hide armor, although we're a bit short on the halbergs. So they're a bit under-armored what they normally be. New traveling merchant. We are going to transfer stuff for selling, so 34 of that. 3 of those. And 30 bars of soap. And probably not buying anything from you, so not in a rush to get back there. Okay. In they go. Okay, there's the settlement.
At once.
Focus the towers one at a time, please.
As you command. Right away.
And there we go. So that's victory over all the raiding camps that we know about at this point. And of course the stuff we just looted is all on the floor for the moment until it gets picked up. Of course, somewhere in there we got another point of knowledge. Resistant to heat and drought. Yield on the grain crops is the next one. So we'll probably do yield, work up this line. So we'll be ready, closer to ready for doing the eco one in the next stream. So our stuff there is ready to be sold. You'd buy fish, which is maybe tempting to do, especially if we get something else for it. Although it's the dried fish, so it's the fish that actually keeps. Oh, and I've got enough glassware. Do that upgrade. Yeah, upgrade the bakery. We need that bakery upgraded. Okay, so this is going to be a long episode. This is going to be like an hour-long episode at this point, but allows us to progress a little bit more before we're going to end the stream here. And I'm still ending before 2 AM, so this is a reasonably early end of the stream for me. And yeah, if this series continues, and the series probably will continue, because I'm going to try to get up to tier 5 housing and get one of the wonders complete. And we're pretty close to that. Right, the desirability here, that's going to come from upgrading the garden trails, which is bricks. We need books, we need spices, we need luxury foods, and when the bakery is done, we'll be able to start making the luxury food. So, that check mark, that check mark. Spices are pretty... Once you get lucky and the spice merchants start coming in, spices are pretty easy to supply in my experience. We don't go through spice very quickly. so there's some loot. So I'm going to disband any of the light infantry that are just wearing hide armor. Eventually we want those guys to be transferred back over to being archers, is what's going on there. Okay, so that is a lot of sort of soft get over the limit. So if you get migrants that take you over 100 or 500, then you do get to keep them. You don't have armor, so disband you. So we got the 2 archers. You actually got Halberg. So we'll hold on to you, unless we've got one that's not Halberg over here. No. Okay. So we have 13 guys, fully equipped for light infantry duty. And we have 2 archers. Someone who will buy pots. Oh, do we have pots for them? As far as buying stuff from them, they will be selling knowledge, most likely, if we continue this trade deal. And before I... because I'll probably forget about it next time, we will actually try to complete this trade deal. I was also running a little bit longer because I wanted to have the bakery done. So this is the upgraded bakery, which becomes the pastry shop. I forgot we required preserves. That's why I'm thinking about preserves for luxury, because the preserves go into the luxury food. So we're going to have to make preserves to have pastries to provide the luxury food. Fair enough. And this is also the first one that uses first main way to use honey. So this is also the place that consumes honey. Okay, so there's one point of knowledge. Grab the yield for grain, because we're going to need the yield for grain. Probably want the yield for vegetables as well. There's the pottery sold, which is just enough to buy 2 more points of knowledge. Or did the knowledge disappear when I bought the knowledge? I feel like it said there was 3 points of knowledge, but then I bought 1, and now it go put. Or was this the other merchant that we ran the knowledge from? No, it was him. Okay, so it seems even if they say it has more than 1 point of knowledge, you can only buy 1 at a time. Fair enough. Bought that knowledge. We got more money, so we'll be able to, if they show up with more knowledge, we'll be able to buy more knowledge. (0/4). Okay. Oh, apparently I have knowledge in my inventory that in the trading center. Fair enough. That's where I'm getting confused. It's this number over here, and you only had 1 point of knowledge. Okay. There we go. So we bought the knowledge off of him. That's allowed us to advance a little bit farther along in our tech tree. We probably want the yield from the crops. We want the yield from that and the birth rate. We might hold off on that one until we're really ready to go for the marketplace. Also, I need to pick up canning. We're at the canning point. Next point should probably go into cannon. I'll probably forget about it and we won't pick the canning up, but this is also, I think, a good place to put the part break in to end this part and end this stream. We will do one more stream of this. I suspect the next stream will be the last stream. We could have stretched the stream longer, maybe to get to that point. The place where we ended it last time was when we got our first manor up to tier 5. So you can sort of see at this point what we did last run in the 0.9 build, which is we got luxury food, which we've got the building where we built that. That's the pastry shop. That's the preserves, right? So the big thing that we don't have right now that we had then is preserves and spice. And I'm actually a little bit interested. I haven't seen spice to buy recently. There's been spice to buy, but it hasn't been recently since we had tier 4 buildings. So we need to get books, we need to get spice, we need to get preserves so we can make the luxury food. And then it's going to be a little bit of gambling and getting the 4 food types in the building at the same time. But if we do that, then we'll be able to get these manors. Well, may be able to get some of these manors to upgrade to tier 5. They're not quite there from a desirability standpoint. For example, this one's at 97%. So we may need to then turn around and actually upgrade some of the garden trails, which are bricks. But that shouldn't actually be too hard. I've also picked up the upgrade for the healer's house, which we should do. That should help as well. So that's upcoming in this run. So if you're watching on YouTube, that next part, should probably be up tomorrow. Not sure how many more parts there's going to be. We're going to do one more stream of it. Not sure how quickly we're going to end that stream, right? We're going to probably try to get the wonder up. I'm not sure how much the wonder costs. Is it going to give me an idea of what the wonder costs? Okay, so economic wonder, just short of 500 bricks, 300 planks, and 15,000 money. So it's basically the entire treasury full of... Is it the entire treasury full of money? Might actually be less than the entire treasury full of money. No, it's not even a full vault of money. And we're definitely getting richer, so that's more and more believable of us being able to do. 100 stone is not too hard. 200 metal we've done before. 10,000 money is not that bad. Same thing with civic. Okay. So we might actually not do the economic one because it might actually just be easier to do one of the other ones because our bricks are going to be the limiting factor on the economic monument. Whereas irons maybe a little bit, or iron and stones maybe a little easier to do. Although 5 on iron is a lot, so we'd have to be the military one and probably not doing the military. I don't know how that's going to work out. We're going to do one wonder. We're going to get one wonder built. And I'm going to try to get at least one of these houses to tier 5. And honestly, probably try to get more of them to tier 5. Once we've got the requirements, it's maybe be a little bit RNG. But then it shouldn't be too hard. So if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up for you tomorrow and for the next couple days until we finish the run. If you're watching on Twitch, if you have any comments you want to get in before we end the stream, now's a good time to leave them, so I can respond to them. I will leave the stream up for about a minute after I do the outro for the YouTube video. Today was Farthest Frontier. Tomorrow will be Free Coal. I suspect we will finish up Free Coal. If you're watching this on Twitch and you haven't voted in the poll, sorry, I was having a tickle in the back of my throat. If you haven't voted in the poll for Shadow Empire, now is probably our last opportunity to go and do that. I forget exactly when the poll ends tomorrow, but it should end before we start the stream tomorrow. When we're done with Free Coal, if we have enough time tomorrow to start up the Shadow Empire run, we are going to start up the Shadow Empire run. That's the plan. I believe last time I checked the poll, it was a dead heat between multiple choices. So if you go vote, you may be the tie-breaking vote. Or worst case scenario, I'll have to sort of wing it on which one of the choices will go in. Because otherwise, I think it's going to be tied between 2 choices right now. It may show, if you voted, it may show it's tied between 3. For me to see the results before the results close, I have to put a vote in, and my vote is not a tie-breaking vote, or is not a counting vote. So I know which vote I put in. So I think with my vote included, there's actually 3 tied. The one I voted for obviously then loses. My vote's the tie-breaking vote. But tomorrow will be Free Call. If we finish up early enough, it'll be Shadow Empire after that. After that the day after that will be Humankind. We'll turn up the difficulty and do another run of that. Monday will possibly be the final stream of Terra Invicta. We have the aliens on the run. Their last major fleet, well, they got a couple of major fleets, but I think their last really big fleet is seeking battle with us, so we'll see how that goes. And we're basically moving towards the last sort of system of enemy resistance. And then the day after that will be Tuesday, and that will be when we do the Farthest Frontier stream. The last Farthest Frontier stream probably for a while. And I think after we're done with that, we're going to move over to Strategic Command. I think that's what I put up in the earlier announcement video. Let me see if I can bring up my Excel sheet of what I was planning on doing. At the same time, let me get the comments up so I can see the comments if anyone's leaving comments. So Humankind Saturday. Yes, Humankind is the plan for Sunday. So tomorrow will be Free Call, followed by Shadow Empire if we finish it. I think we are going to finish it. So we'll probably get some Shadow Empire in, even if it's just like the first couple turns. Even if it's just like one stream part for YouTube. Then Sunday will be Humankind. It'll probably all be Humankind. I think Humankind took us at least 2 streams last time to finish a run. Although I am planning on trying to play it a little bit more aggressively. So if we get like a subjugation or a conquest victory, it may end a little bit earlier. And yeah, so, and then the thing I was bringing up, which is what will replace Farthest Frontier. When we finish Farthest Frontier, which may be this upcoming Monday. Oh, and yeah, I'm reading your comments out of order. The poll for Shadow Empire is on Reddit. It's in the Shadow Empire community on Reddit. So what will replace Farthest Frontier when we finish that up, which may be next Monday. We'll probably, no, not next Monday. Tuesday. Next Tuesday. On next Tuesday will be Strategic Command. So if we finish it up early, we'll start Strategic Command. If not, Strategic Command will start 4 days after that, which would be next Saturday. So not tomorrow, but the tomorrow, or the Saturday next week. So that's the upcoming schedule. Any other comments from YouTube? Or any other comments from Twitch, I mean. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and do the outro for YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, that will be part up tomorrow in this series. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to resume this series in 4 days. If you've got any comments on YouTube, I'm going to put want to see any of the stats in this game, feel free to let me know on YouTube. I can go ahead and do a poke through. We're going to do a save as we end this stream. So if you want to see sort of a progression from stream to stream to stream, I could potentially do a video where we jump between save files to go through all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to wish YouTube and or Twitch, if you've got no comments on Twitch, the best of luck and a good time until the next part and or the next stream. And with that, bye for now.